Go all business despite PDP endorsement. Department of Energy walks tightrope. COVID-19 now has new variant, Lambda. Enhanced community quarantine violator nabbed for meth. Focus on pandemic, Ejercito asks officials. Social security system calls for employers' compliance amid pandemic. Canada snap elections coming. Julie Ann San Jose is limitless in new musical. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is August 16, 2021, and here are the latest news of this Monday morning. Despite the PDP Laban's endorsement of his candidacy for the presidency, Senator Christopher Bongo on Sunday said he remains focused on fulfilling his mandate and providing the kind of service Filipinos need amid the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. Go emphasized that he is not interested in aspiring for a higher position in next year's elections. Nevertheless, Go thanked his party mates for their support to the Duterte administration and their trust in his capabilities. Aside from going around the country listening and responding to the pleas of Filipinos in need, Go also continues to encourage the public to get inoculated in accordance with vaccination guidelines. He said that efforts to raise public confidence in the vaccines are crucial to protect the population and attain herd immunity soon. He stressed that rather than discussing politics, he will focus on addressing the immediate needs of Filipinos and assisting the government in developing measures to solve the COVID-19 pandemic. The energy chief noted the government has yet to conduct further assessment on the use of the underwater pipeline as a submerged toll road to transport gas. Between extending the license or the service contract 38 of the Malampaya venture or bidding out the operatorship of the project once the contract expires in 2024, the Department of Energy has a tough balancing act to do to ensure public interest is prioritized in the decision. In an exclusive interview with the Daily Tribune, Energy Chief Alfonso G. Cusi said the decision of the DOE is weighed down by acquisitive firms trying to enter the multi-billion-dollar project. The DOE earlier said the Malampaya Consortium needs to comply with several conditions for the extension of the exploration contract. The negotiating terms including the development opportunity necessary for the DOE to evaluate the proposals of the consortium members and the split or royalty sharing between the government and the project contractor. Despite thinning reserves, the Malampaya natural gas field remains on the radar of the country's largest energy players as its underwater pipeline and other infrastructure could be used to transport offshore gas from adjoining reservoirs. Cusi recently affirmed that it is possible to utilize the facility's subsea pipeline to extract and transfer gas from the nearby West Philippine Sea to the onshore power plants in Batangas. The palace on Sunday said it was too early to predict whether the 2-week hard lockdown in the National Capital Region will be enough as COVID-19 cases in the country continue to rise, especially with the arrival of a new variant called Lambda. Labor groups rejected an extension of the enhanced community quarantine in Metro Manila, which is supposed to end Friday, August 20. In a text message to the Daily Tribune, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said it would take 2 weeks for the government experts to know whether there is a need for an extension. The statement came as the country logged another record 14,794 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total caseload to 1,741,616. The Department of Health also reported its first case of the Lambda variant, a 35-year-old female which is currently being verified as to whether a local or returning overseas Filipino case. The Lambda variant, which was first identified in Peru in August last year, was classified as a variant of interest by the World Health Organization. WHO said this variant of interest has the potential to affect the transmissibility of SARS-CoV-2 and is currently being monitored for its possible clinical significance. Aside from Lambda variant case, the DOH also reported additional 182 cases of the highly transmissible Delta variant, which brought the total Delta variant caseload to 807. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Oh, vaccination, isolation, gotta keep up with my nutrition, gotta maintain my body condition, then I can take my vaccination. What do I choose? What do I take? As long as it is not a fake. AstraZeneca, Moderna, BioNTech, even Sinovac, okay na. Babakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination. Babakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Mga katribo, handa na ba kayong sumayaw at manalo? Halina't sumali sa Katribo Bakuna Paturok TikTok Challenge handog ng Daily Tribune, Teleradyo Bandido TV at RJFM. Napakadali lang sumali. Step 1. Like at i-follow ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at TikTok account upang maging updated at makasali. Step 2. Bumuo ng isa o grupo na hanggang 3 katao at gumawa ng TikTok video gamit ang opisyal na Paturok Jingle Daily Tribune at RJFM na makukuha sa TikTok account ng Daily Tribune.
Paturok! Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok! Paturok! Paturok!
Step 3. I-post ang inyong video sa Daily Tribune TikTok account at gamitin ang hashtag Katribo Bakuna Paturok. Maaari ring i-mention ang Daily Tribune TikTok account para sa inyong entry. Huwag kalimutang i-like ang official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune. Manood at huwag kalimutang i-share ang programang Gising Na Facebook livestream mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga para alamin ang daily winner. Lahat pwede sumali. Make your move. Lumabas at magpaturok na ng bakuna.
Paturok! Paturok!
We are back on Tribune News on Q. And in other news, a quarantine violator was arrested for possession of shabu in Valenzuela City yesterday morning. The suspect was identified as Leonardo Javier, who was arrested by the police and village watchmen at the border control point of Valenzuela City and Obando, Bulacan. According to Police Senior Master Sergeant Robert Santillan, when they stopped Roldan at the checkpoint for his quarantine pass and other documents, he ignored the police and even tried to flee. Authorities immediately body searched Roldan, whom they found to have a sachet of shabu with a street value of 680 pesos. His bicycle was also confiscated. Besides his quarantine violation, the suspect is facing charges for violating RA 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Pandemic, not politics. That, according to former Senator J.V. Ejercito, should be the focus of public officials amid the threat of the Delta variant of the dreaded coronavirus. Ejercito made the remarks Sunday as he urged the country's leaders to put a ceasefire on political bickering and concentrate instead on addressing the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Ejercito told the Daily Tribune that with the Delta variant ravaging our country right now, we are faced with all those uncertainties. He's hoping that there will be a truce or ceasefire from political bickering since we have to focus on this problem. His statement came days after tension emerged between President Rodrigo Duterte and Manila Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso on the distribution of financial assistance in the capital city. Other lawmakers, including Senator Risa Ontiveros, came in defense of the local official and lambasted the national government for politicizing the distribution of cash assistance. Ejercito, meanwhile, expressed relief that cooler heads prevailed over the recent spat. He also praised Moreno earlier for keeping his cool amid the disagreement. Despite the ongoing ruckus between the two leaders, distribution of cash aid in Manila continued as scheduled on August 10. The state-run Social Security system calls upon all employers, registered and unregistered, to comply with their legal obligations to their employees, especially amid the pandemic. SSS President and CEO Aurora Ignacio called for such as to avoid employers' criminal persecution under the provisions of Republic Act 11199 or the Social Security Act of 2018. Ignacio said that although we are still coping with the financial crisis brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, business owners are still expected to fulfill their statutory obligations to secure the welfare and interests of their workers. She added that they have also been receiving reports of unposted loan payments from employed members. However, employers have failed to submit the loan collection list to SSS, which is very important since it is the basis for the crediting of loan payments to the member's account. Under RA 11199, employers are required to register their businesses with the SSS and report all their workers for SSS coverage within 30 days from actual employment date. Still, the pension fund explained that employers should withhold from their employees' wages their respective monthly loans amortizations aside from deduction and remittance of SSS contributions based on the scheduled payment deadlines. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Oh, vaccination, isolation. Gotta keep up with my nutrition. Gotta maintain my body condition. Then I can take my vaccination. What do I choose? What do I take? As long as it is not a fake. AstraZeneca, Moderna, BioNTech, even Sinovac, okay na. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination. Pababakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Globe, our steps can lead us to millions of doors opening, millions of paths unfolding, and millions of reasons to keep going. Now's the time to be with the network that gets better every day for you.
Manong Joe po,
At Ate Maita,
ngayong Hunyo, bahagyang tumaas ng 8 centavos per kilowatt hour ang overall electricity rates. Ito'y dahil sa dagdag singil sa WESM.
alam niyo ba, pwede kayong i-update ng Meralco sa text or sa email gaya ni Sarah G. Sisendan kayo ng advanced updates tulad ng upcoming bill details. Di na kayo kakaba-kaba sa paghihintay ng bills. At anumang mangyari sa bill, masira, mabasa, o mawala, no problem. To get updates, i-update ang inyong contact information sa Facebook Messenger, meralco.com.ph, email, hotline 16211 o Meralco Business Centers.
Handa kaming makipag-ugnayan sa inyo para makapaghatid ng mas mabuti, mabilis, at pagkinhawang serbisyo.
Hanggang sa susunod na
Meralco Advisory.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. And for our foreign news, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Sunday is expected to call snap elections for September 20 to seek a new mandate to steer the nation's pandemic exit, much to the dismay of his rival parties. In office since 2015, Trudeau and opposition leaders have been crisscrossing the country in recent weeks, making election-style announcements in anticipation. On Sunday, he will visit the Governor-General to ask her to dissolve Parliament, triggering a general election that polling shows is likely to return his Liberals to power. Despite rolling out massive pandemic aid, passing a federal budget, and other key legislation with opposition backing over the past year, Trudeau has lamented that Parliament in recent months has become dysfunctional, with a level of obstructionism and toxicity in the House that is of real concern. In showbiz news, on September 17, Julie is set to take viewers on an extraordinary musical journey in Limitless, a musical trilogy directed by Paolo Valenciano. The singer and songwriter Julie Ann San Jose is in disbelief after being called Asia's limitless star. In a Zoom interview with members of media earlier this week, the young artist said the moniker is quite overwhelming and hearing it feels surreal. She is bent in not keeping the honor all to herself, though. Julie Ann said she wouldn't be where she is right now if it weren't for her fans and the people who continue to give her support since the beginning. The show is a three-part act that will unveil the different facets of Julie as a singer, songwriter, dancer, actor, and multi-instrumentalist. It was shot respectively in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The Asia's Limitless star said that preparing for the project is already a breathtaking experience. It makes her feel more inspired with living life, and this will definitely be one for the books and food for the soul. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Oriental Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning!
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Ejercito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.